Welcome everyone, and thank you to everyone in the gallery to observe the meeting tonight. Welcome to the final council meeting of this term of council with this current makeup. Could everyone please stand for the opening prayer and original custodian statement? Almighty God, grant to this council wisdom, understanding and sincerity of purpose for the good governance of this city. Amen. And I wish to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we stand and pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. Thank you. Please be seated. We'll now move on to item 2, apologies. And I don't think we have any apologies this evening. Everyone's here and Councillor Jelly's joining us virtually from Zoom. So we'll now move on to item 3, confirmation of minutes. So can we get a mover that the minutes of the scheduled council meeting held on the 2nd of September 2024 be confirmed? Councillor Ziegler. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Arnott. Nobody wished to speak on that item. We'll put the motion to the vote. All those in favour? Passed unanimously. Thank you. We'll now move on to item 4, the declaration by councillors and officers of any conflicts of interest on any item on the agenda. So does anyone have any conflicts of interest they want to declare this evening? No? Very good. We'll now move on to item 5, the mayoral presentation. Even though we've gone into caretaker, we have had some exciting things happening in the city over the last month. It was great to see the Minister for Tourism, Steve Dimopoulos, come down and announce $50,000 in funding for the Claw Money exhibition that we're holding at the Art Gallery in November. It's going to be huge, and it's the first time that that Claw Money is going to be showing art outside of New York. So it's going to be a really big thing when it launches in November. So get down, check it out. Also, the one night stand happened since we had our last meeting, and it was an absolutely amazing night. And it was great to see some local talent with Flynn Gurry and GK, and the surprise visit from Missy Higgins as well. It was a really special night, even though it was absolutely freezing. And it was last week, I think, Mr. Mason, hi Sal?
Yes.
Yeah, we went to the High Cell opening. Now that's been something that's been bubbling along for the last 4 to 5 years, and it really is a special facility there at Deakin, and it really does put us as a nation leader in hydrogen research and technology. And it's great that now it's been opened, we'll be able to see we'd be able to see all the amazing research and things and really keep Warrnambool at the front of the green revolution there with hydrogen. So that was a really big buzz as well last week. And Lily, Minister for Environment and Climate Change, Lou D'Ambrosio, come down and opened that with our local member Jacinta Makora last week. So that was another big one as well. We'll now move on to item 6, public question time. Mr. Mason, were there any questions?
Mayor, there's been no public questions submitted for the meeting tonight.
No, thank you. We'll now move on to item 7, reports, and 7.1, the presentation of the annual report. And this one's a bit different to all the other reports because it's the Mayor's report on what we've done for the last 12 months. So I'll give the introduction instead of Mr. Mason. The annual report's the yearly report card of council. And it's more than just this year. It includes looking back at the work that's been done during this term and looking forward to what it holds for the city. Infrastructure's really been a key feature, with many projects being delivered and more in the coming term of council are being planned and getting ready to be advocated for to be able to deliver for our city. Asset renewal's been a really big key that we have seen in the annual report, and something that I do hope that future council continue to work on meeting the needs of the community in the wisest possible way. Continued commitment to services has been a key for the council this term, especially focusing on council's recommitment to aged care and the growing childcare capacity within the city through council and private operators. We've given back to the community through many of the funds that council has, including the Community Development Fund and the Events Fund. Improving the livability is a real key focus area for council, and will need key strategic state and federal advocacy to be able to deliver on the needs and aspirations of the Warrnambool community. There is capacity I believe there is capacity for council to continue to grow to meet the infrastructure and service needs of Warrnambool as we continue to see our city progress forward and continue to grow in population in such a special area we all know. And I'm confident there's capacity for new council with a refreshed strategic direction to continue to deliver for Warrnambool as we see our city continue to grow and develop over the coming years. Can I get a mover for the report? Councillor Jalley?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to move that the Council adopt the Warrnambool City Council 2023-2024 annual report.
Thank you, Councillor Jalley. Can we have a seconder? Councillor Arnott. Councillor Jalley.
Okay, thank you. After reading through the 2023-24 annual report, I'm excited to be able to celebrate the achievements of the past year and previous years that have come to culmination in this year. Warrnambool City Council is the largest provider of home and community care in Warrnambool. Between 1,200 and 1,400 residents depend on these services. I'm very proud of being part of a council who, as a collegiate group, overwhelmingly decided to continue supporting some of our community's most vulnerable residents by retaining these vital services into the future, when many other municipalities in the state have discontinued this support. So I think that's great. It was a really good thing that we've done there. We've recognised our young people in the Warrnambool and Moyne Youth Awards, yet again celebrating their achievements and the amazing things that they do and for the future of the city. So that's been a really great thing. We had them in at council not long ago actually talking to us, and that was great to meet a lot of our youth leaders. As the Mayor said, the Community Development Fund has enabled groups to deliver great events for the city, so we all get great value out of that, and congratulations to those groups for applying for the funds and bringing the events and things that they do. There's been a lot of hard work into realising the new home building to accommodate the fabulous services provided by the West Warrnambool Neighbourhood House, soon to have a new premises opened in early 2025. So that's been a great outcome over the last 4 years. I think Council has delivered and will continue to work on meeting strategic objectives of the Council plan. We continue to have the success of the Library and Learning Hub by delivering relevant programs and services, and so many people are attending that facility. It's just fabulous. We've got new school crossing in Raglan Parade at the intersection of Hyder and Ardwood Streets, and that took a bit of lobbying by some of the community and working with council to achieve that. New school crossing in Lambeth Street in Merivale, and securing funding and delivering the progress for safer footpath for students and families at Woodford Primary School. So there's some great things for our schools there. I'd like to recognise the work that ourselves as a group have worked with our staff, with all staff, and I just think we've had a really good year, so thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Jalley. Councillor Arnott.
Thank you. Mayor, thoroughly endorse everything that Councillor Jalley has spoken about, and I feel as well that we've had a very productive and efficient year, and we have completed a large number of projects, one being the new amenities block at McGennan's, very much a necessary upgrade and sure to enhance our foreshore, and offers, improved facilities, not only for our locals but also for visitors. We're also working towards attaining a lot of new projects, and we have begun on the first stage of the Briley Recreation Reserve development. That has actually been completed, stage one, and it's really heartening to hear of a lot of very positive feedback regarding that development. And our challenge now is, of course, to focus on advocating for further funds to get a new community sports and community hub there. As Councillor Jelly has mentioned about, we've chosen to stay in the service of aged and disability care. That is something I'm really proud about, because that does actually affect some of the most vulnerable people in our community. We have completed strategic work in planning for some major projects, and planning takes a long time to get through. Some of those major projects include the former Saleyards land, Flagstaff Hill, Aquazone and the Art Gallery. And a project that I feel has huge potential to make a real positive effect on the housing crisis in Warrnambool is the Key Worker Accommodation and Affordable Housing Project that's earmarked for Harrington Road. I'm sure we all understand how the lack of housing affects employers and services in the community, and I am very hopeful that this council or the next council can succeed in delivering this project. It will be a significant achievement and it will deliver real solutions. At this time, I'd also like to thank our CEO, directors and all council staff for their time and effort that they have contributed, not only over the last 12 months, but the last term of this council, this term. We have an amazing city that we are privileged to call home, and that is partially due to the effort and work that these staff put in, so I thank you. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Councillor Arnott. Any other councillor wish to speak? Councillor Ziegler.
Thanks, Mayor. Yes, I'd like to echo the comments of my colleague, Councillor Arnott, in thanking our operational staff and executive management team for the work that they've put in over the past 12 months, and indeed over the past 4 years. One thing that I'm still noticing throughout this past 12 months is that we're still not as good as we could be in terms of consultation with the community. This council has improved that situation over years, and it's an awful lot better than it was. I still find that it's not as good as it could be. So hopefully the new council will be able to make more inroads in that and have a closer relationship with the community, so that the community isn't able to say, we don't know anything about it and nobody got back to us.
Thank you, Councillor Ziegler. Councillor Paspaliaris.
Thank you, Mayor. With the annual report outlining a whole host of things, including organisational structure, the extensive financial information, project highlights, funding and governance matters, I just thought I'd highlight a few things that I was really pleased by. I think that the half-court multi-sport project completed at Lake Patobe is an important project which highlights a need for infrastructure that can appeal to older children and teenagers. For me, it's been a recurring request that comes up in community engagement, and I hope that there can be more of this focus with future councils. In the financial area, council is very much trying to pay down its debt to first reduce repayments, but also to build more financial capacity and be ready for larger projects that may arise in the future. And I think it's incumbent upon council to be agile in this area. So I think the paying down of debt obviously is a very good thing overall. And when deciding on some planning matters, I think this council overall has really tried to listen, to be considered and balanced in its decision making. I think this is indicated in the annual report, showing that 4 appealed planning matters were decided at tribunal, 3 of our decisions were upheld and 1 set aside, or in other words, overturned. Another is that council assumed management of the animal shelter as of 1st of July this year, I think it shows a strong initiative in trying to reduce the cost of running the shelter through the third party as it was. But I think it's council showing signs of trying to gain some efficiencies, but also maintaining all previous ethical commitments in its operational practice. So I commend the council on this decision. And finally, council continues to invest in more winter tourism campaigns, with the Embrace Winter digital campaign being promoted more recently. I've always thought that the quieter and colder months of the year is really a niche area, which I'm confident council will continue in building its event and tourism efforts around. Just one stat that I looked at was around the Solstice Search Party held in June of this year, where it showed a quarter of attendees came from outside the 3280 postcode. So I think very encouraging for that event. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Paspaliaris. Any other councillor? Councillor Taylor?
Thank you, Mayor Blaine. I consider myself very privileged and enjoying being the first person to slide down the new Lake Batobe Adventure Ground slide. It was a lot of fun, and it was so hard to climb up, and I thought, oh my God, am I ever going to get the top of this slide? And then to get down was another matter, but a little bit of cheating now and then got me down in one piece. So yeah, it was great to see that new Lake Batobe Adventure Playground officially open. The construction of the Edwards Bridge is a major uplift for our foreshore, and it was very satisfying to see many of the old timber frameworks from the old bridge used in the building of the new McGinnon's change rooms. I was disappointed that I wasn't able to see the foreshore strategy followed through, but unfortunately it didn't convince me enough to put my hand up for another term, but I'm sure it'll be in good hands for the next councillors to get that foreshore strategy through as soon as possible. I'd like to endorse a lot of my fellow councillors' comments, and a lot of people have asked me, how have you enjoyed your 4 years on council? And I said, well, it's in a lot of ways I've enjoyed it. It's a rocky road. There's been ups and downs, of course, but I think 99.9% of people in Warrnambool have no idea that how Warrnambool is run by this end of Liebig Street. And there are so many talented officials and workers for the council sitting in this room and staff members, so you get to know how the council run this city, and from that point of view I was very pleased to serve my term for the last 4 years as the councillor of Warrnambool. Thank you, Mayor Bain.
Thank you, Councillor Taylor. Any other councillor wish to speak? Councillor Kush.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I totally agree with my colleagues about the report. I think it is 4 years well spent. The project speaks for themselves. One of the things I would like to highlight here is, and to me is most important, is the unity between us as councillors, because this unity also will unite the community. To me, is an achievement that the 4 years that we spent on the council, there wasn't any election. For the mayor to come, it was all unopposed, because we agree to just anyone who would like to come up, he can come up. It doesn't mean that we didn't have the process of democracy. It is democracy itself. So this is one of the things I'm really proud that we keep our unity to the end, despite the differences as human or issue, we can differ, but at the end, we have to see that we are representing the community. Things also I wanted to see in my term during these 4 years is thing that was close to my heart. Although it's difficult to achieve in terms of financial thing, was the bridge connecting Warrnambool with Woolston, because the growth of Warrnambool now is towards north. So if we have a bridge from Promfield Street connecting Woolston, I think will be beneficiary for those who are actually living in the north. And I'm quite sure it is a project that will come in some years to come. I don't have much to say. I would like to thank our CEO, Andrew, who was really very close to us in all this progress and all what we have done, also with his team, the directors, and all those who actually make it much easier for us to execute the project. I would like also a special thank to Wendy Clark for her, advice and experience that she brought to this council. And lastly, but not least, I would like to thank Warrnambool community for their support. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Coish. Councillor Jelly, do you wish to add anything to close?
Yes, look, I think we're all on the same path here. We've celebrated a lot of great things over this last year and the 4 years we've been here, lots of different things, some great things progressing, drive around Warrnambool. I saw the other day a lot of footpaths being renewed, updated, and that's great to see. Wombat Crossing, safety of people, so that's really good. There's been some great advocacy done in the last 12 months, and I do congratulate the Mayor and the CEO especially for that. We've made some really big inroads with speaking to Spring Street and federally, and I think that we've had a good year with that, and I think it stands us in good stead going forward. So I congratulate them on that. As Councillor Koch said, we've been a collegiate and collaborative group, and I think as far as our behaviour with all this is, I agree, and I think we should be pretty proud of that. I hope that the new council will keep working and moving forward with a positive attitude, because that's where we can affect change, not looking back, just affect change going forward for the city. So I think that's exciting. So thank you, a great annual report to end with.
Thank you, Councillor Jelly, and thanks for those kind words. With no one else to speak, I wasn't expecting. Sorry. With no one else to speak, we'll put the motion to the vote. All those in favour? Passed unanimously. That's the annual report done. Item 7.2, the Middle Island Project Annual Report 2023-2024. Mr Mason.
Thank you, and through you, Mr Mayor. The report, this report provides an update on the Middle Island Project season report for the last financial year. The highlights of the season include continued effectiveness of the guardian dogs, the Marama Guard dogs, and the fact that these dogs create significant interest from the public and tourist sectors. So that's another thing. Certainly there's been some challenges with both the weather but also the ageing of the dogs. And these will be issues that the team will continue to review and look at. So the report is there before you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Mr Mason. Were there any questions on that? Do we have a mover? Councillor Ziegler.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. I move that the Middle Island Project Annual Report 2023-24 be received.
Thank you, Councillor Ziegler. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Paspaliaris. Councillor Ziegler.
Yeah, the report sort of highlights the project for the past year. The main ones are that there's no evidence of foxes on Middle Island during the season. Having said that, there's very little evidence of penguins either, although we know there are some penguins there, but we don't exactly know how because there's been limited opportunities to actually get across to count them. And the weather hasn't been particularly kind to the Maremas, so that the Maremas haven't spent an awful lot of time over there. So I suppose you could almost say it's status quo. The penguins are not extinct, that we've still got them there. The Maremas have been beneficial in terms of our tourist program. But the other good things about the project are that it highlights that there are lots of volunteer hours that have been spent on the whole project. And all in all, it's a wonderful conservation effort.
Thank you, Councillor Ziegler. Councillor Paspaliaris.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll just add that I wish to thank major sponsors, Petstock and the Vet Group, for their support for this program, and also other local businesses and the wider community. I am pleased with the ongoing interest in the educational program, the Penguin Protectors Warrnambool. I do see there being obviously weather events, unfavourable weather being one of the major challenges, but also, as the CEO mentioned, just with the age and stage of the dogs, the Maremma dogs, there's obviously very much care and adaptation being required to look after the dogs in terms of their role, and also I'm sure that the council officers have got a big focus on succession planning for those dogs as well and their role within the program. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Paspaliaris. Any other councillor wish to speak? Councillor Ziegler, do you wish to add anything to close?
No.
All right, with no one else to speak, we'll put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, passed unanimously. Now move on to item 7.3, the Advisory Committee reports. Mr Mason.
Thank you. Fairly simple report. Just the record of the Airport Reference Group and the minutes of the Economic Development and Tourism Advisory Committee. I would note that there is a slight typo in the recommendation point 2, in that the words minutes of the Economic and Tourism Advisory, so the words minutes of have been left out. So in moving the recommendation, can we just insert them, please?
Yes, Mr Mason. Were there any questions on that? If you want to move it and accept the officer's recommendation, accept it with the CEO's amendment. Sorry, do we have a mover? Councillor Arnott.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll move the officer's recommendation with the attached memorandum.
With the CEO's amendments.
Memorandum.
Yep.
Thank you.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Taylor. Councillor Arnott.
No, I don't have anything else to add to that. Thank you.
Councillor Taylor.
Thank you, Mayor Blaine. I've had the privilege of being part of both of these committees, and it was pleasing to see so many, again, talented people on the Airport Reference Group committee out there, and I'd dearly like to see one day of airstrip to be extended, whether it'll happen in the near future or in the long term. I hope one day it eventually does happen, because this southwestern Victoria will extremely benefit the day the airstrip is lengthened. And secondly, the Economic and Development and Tourism Committee, we fought hard to have a business group formed, but again, apathy by local business people, it didn't get off the ground. And hopefully, again, one day there will be a business group down the track, whether it'll be constructed or informed by a levy, or whether it'll be made up of a voluntary subscription, I don't know, but this city certainly does need a business group to support council activities and promote and market this great city of ours. Thank you, Mayor Blaine.
Thank you, Councillor Taylor. Any other councillor wish to speak? Councillor Ziegler.
Just quickly, Mayor, I'd like to, through this opportunity, acknowledge the efforts of the people on the reference group, that is the residents and volunteers on the reference group and the advisory committee, both these circumstances, and also the representatives on the other advisory groups and reference groups that we have to assist council. I think that their efforts need to be acknowledged in public, and I'm sure all my fellow councillors would agree that they've all given their time willingly, and it's been very helpful.
Thank you, Councillor Ziegler. Are there any other councillors that wish to speak? I'd just like to add too, sorry Debbie, I'd just like to add too that I think it is really great, as Max pointed out, to see the strategic plan for the airport actually progressing now. And there, it's going to be a critical facility for the growth of Warrnambool and the broader region. It's really exciting. It's something that we've been out for consultation for the last month or so. So, give us your feedback, because it will be key to the growth for the region. Councillor Arnott, do you wish to add anything to close?
No, thank you, Mayor.
We'll now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour? Passed unanimously. We'll now move on to item 7.4, the informal meetings of council reports. Do anyone have any questions on them? Do we have a mover? Councillor Arnott.
I'll move that the record of the informal meetings of council held on 9, 16 and 30 September 2024 be received.
Thank you, Councillor Arnott. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Paspaliaris. Councillor Arnott. Councillor Paspaliaris, and no one else wishes to speak. We'll put the motion to the vote. All those in favour? Passed. Councillor Jelly. Passed unanimously. Item 7.5, Mayoral and Chief Executive Council Activity Summary Report. That's there before you. Were there any questions on that? Do we have a mover? Councillor Koish.
I move that the Mayoral and Chief Executive Officer Council Activities Summary Reports be received.
Thank you, Councillor Koish. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Ziegler. Councillor Koish, do you have anything?
Thanks.
And Councillor Ziegler. No one else? We'll put the motion to the vote. All those in favour? Passed unanimously. Item 8, notices of motion.
Mayor, no notice of motion tonight.
Item 9, general business. Did anyone have any general business they wanted to raise? No. Item 10, there is no urgent business.
No urgent business, no.
Very good. And just before the close of the meeting, on behalf of the council, I just wanted to say thank you to the Warrnambool community for the last 4 years. It's been a really great ride, and it's been really special, and thank you for putting your trust in us 4 years ago and electing us all to these positions. I'd like to say a special thank you as well, especially being in the chair for the last 12 months, to the previous mayors, Jelly, Ziegler and Arnott, for your contribution. It can be a hard role, especially being in the big chair. And good luck to all the councillors who are recontesting, and the new and old candidates in the upcoming election. Best of luck, and I look forward to being able to continue to work together in the next term of council. I'd also like to say a really special thank you to Councillor Koish, Councillor Paspaliaris and Councillor Taylor, who aren't recontesting, but thank you very much for your contribution over the last 4 years and the difference that you've made to the city. And I'd also like to say a thank you to the CEOs, directors, managers and staff that council have had the pleasure of working with over this term. Your work's special in keeping our city as a leading regional centre in the southwest, and we really thank you for everything that you do. And finally, I just wanted to say a really big thank you to, I keep talking about us and directors, I want to say a really big thank you to all of our friends and families who've provided so much support and allowed everyone to give up time with their families and have supported everyone through the last term, because without you, a lot of us couldn't do what we do. So a really big thank you to all of those people, whoever they are in our lives, who have actually supported us through the last 4 years. And I look forward to seeing everyone at the next meeting on the 18th of November when we have a new council. So that's the close of the meeting. Thanks so much for joining us.